right, we're going to get started. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our virtual 8th grade open house. It's a little bit different this year, but we're happy that you were able to join us. I'm Dr. Zalita, the principal here. Many of you have known me for a couple years now, and welcome to all our new friends. What we're going to do is I'm going to introduce our PTO. Well, they're not here. I'm going to introduce the slides for them, and then I'm going to introduce our school-based health center, and then our teachers are going to take over and going to talk to you a little bit about each of their classes, the courses that they're going to take, and give you a little bit of background on the curriculum that the kids are going to go through this year and some of the Google Classroom stuff. And we're recording this right now so that we can put it on the website for our parents that aren't able to join us tonight. And we're going to stop recording when we get through the presentation piece, and then we'll have it open for questions for any of you. Okay? I'm going to get started. Mr. DeCastro, thank you. So our PTO is a small but mighty group. We have our president, Julie Moore, and our treasurer, Christina Sweeney, and we need a vice president and secretary. So they have their contact information up here on this slide at the rpmspto@gmail.com, and all this information is going to be recorded and it'll be up on my YouTube page, so you'll be able to bring it down from there. But they wanted to let everybody know that their meetings are the third Thursday of each month at 6:30. We're going to start them virtually. Our first meeting will be on October 15th at 6:30. And so we'll be sharing information through the school. We'll post it on the website and all that. So they're a group of parents and teachers, and we actually had quite a few teachers join us last year. And we work to try to improve the school overall. And they provide experiences and events, and we did a lot of work after school or in the evening nights to kind of bring our parents together. And so they support both our students, or all of our students, our teachers, and our administrators. So we really enjoy working with them, and we would love to have people to help volunteer with them with their school-sponsored events. There's always been like a book fair. I don't know how that's going to work this year, but things like that, they're always here to help the school. And they kind of detailed out what they spend money for. So they do fundraising, and so we have dances. We will again someday. They have to pay for the DJ for that, and then they get the snacks. So they're making money through that to help raise money for things such as the breakfast. When students go on the DC and Philly trips, they buy breakfast for the kids, and they do some outings for some of our special classes. They've done when we have our parent-teacher conferences and our Teacher Appreciation Week, they've provided meals for teachers, and they also decorate for our 8th grade dance, and they also do provide guest speakers, and even for our 6th grade, they do a Birds of Prey that they pay for the man to come with the giant birds of prey. So they do a lot to help support the students and teachers at the school. So I hope that you'll consider joining. We'd love to have a wide array of parents representing us. Thank you. And here's a couple of ways that they're raising money. So we do box tops. I know that's changed a bit where you kind of scan now. They've done some events at Bounce where the kids go and play. They've done some tickets from dances, and they do catalogs sometimes, and they do some Rogers Park nights at local restaurants. And so they've done quite a few things. When we do have our musical theater, that they sponsor some flowers and stuff. So they're really always looking for ways in which to raise money for us so that they can support the students and teachers. So I hope that you'll join them. Our next little presentation here is from our school-based health center. And if you've been with us for 3 years, you've probably heard about this, and I hope that you're a member. If you're new to us, we have a school-based health center, and our nurse practitioner and our therapist is here to tell you a little bit about them.
Hi guys, Miss Jessie, Miss Henyon here for the School-Based Health Center at Rogers Park. We are a clinic inside the school that provide medical and behavioral health services. We currently are setting up a Google Classroom, so check that out for further information. In order to receive services here, you need to be registered at the School-Based Health Center, so make sure you fill out that form. And if you need to get it back to us, you can email it, you can fax it, or you can drop it off at the school. Give us a call and let us know if you have any other questions. Thank you.
So thank you so much for listening to that, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. DeCastro.
I'm Mr. DeCastro, as Dr. Zalita said, and I'm working in a really good team with Ms. Fain in 8B and Ms. Hanson in 8C. Our plan for this year, given that the current circumstances with the pandemic, are that All the work is going to be done through Google Classroom. We're going to use a lot of digital tools. There are some amazing tools now available for us to really make science learning exciting, engaging, and we're already seeing a lot of interesting stuff coming up from students. So even though there are part of projects, hands-on work that we usually spend more time doing, that we're not going to be able to do as much, we believe that the digital tools and this science learning is going to fulfill a good role for these kids to develop skills. So our curriculum basically runs a little bit of physics with forces in motion, laws of motion like Newton's laws. We do some electromagnetism, talk about how we make electricity, how you run motors. Then we jump to biology, and in there we do genetics and natural selection. And we kind of closing up this year with energy waves. Actually, we started, your children are right now studying energy waves. So, what comes out in a microwave, what comes up out of a radio. And so all these different kinds of sound. And we want to basically develop skills in problem solving, critical thinking skills, develop creativity, innovation, and ability to synthesize. So that would be our science conversation there. I'm going to pass it on now to math.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mrs. Tracy. I am the 8B math teacher. I work together with Dr. Agora in 8C and Miss Dagana in 8A. Also, we have this year an NYU intern who actually is in 8B with me. That's Mr. Bria. In math, we are very much, you're probably going to hear a lot of the same stuff tonight because all of the different departments, we're all using Google Classroom. So your students will all be going into Google Classroom to get their assignments. They will be going into Google Classroom to turn in their assignments. It's a great spot for you to join their Google Classroom so that you can keep track of the assignments that they're doing and also what they're handing in and what grades they're getting on stuff. So in Math 8, because in 8A and 8B, we have Math 8 and we have algebra that we teach. So Math 8 is taught in all three of the clusters. So in Math 8, which is the typical math, the students are going to be learning slope, solving equations, solving systems of equations, working with data, and also all about functions. In algebra, which we have two sections, two classes that take algebra, and that follows the algebra being done as well. And in that curriculum, they will be going over solving equations, graphing linear equations, solving systems of equations, working with functions, and properties of exponents. Know that with all three of us, you absolutely can email at any time. If you have any questions, we're here to answer your questions. We want to have open lines of communications. And at this point, I'm going to pass it on to, oh, it's still me. So I forgot that I also want to talk to you about Math 180 and numeracy. This is a course that not all of your students will be taking, but some of the students are taking this course. And it's actually only, the Math 180 course is a full year course, and if your child is in numeracy, a trimester course, which means they take it for about 3 months before moving on. And in the Math 180 course, they use a self-paced interactive program that is used to support the students in understanding fractional concepts and operations with fractions. Also, in the virtual classroom, they are going to be using software applications to present the lesson. So everything, again, is done on the computer. So in the numeracy course, they use a variety of different softwares. One of the softwares is IXL, and they work to complement what we're doing in the actual classroom. So if we're working on slope in the classroom, then they will also be working on slope in the Math 180 class. Thank you, Mr. DeCastro. And now I'm going to pass it on to, I believe, English is next, right? Or social studies?
Okay, my name is Mr. Schlegel. I teach in Cluster 8C for history, and the other two history teachers are Mr. Haytor in Cluster 8A and Mr. Barada in Cluster 8B. Mr. Barada also has an intern, Ms. Wang. She's an intern out of NYU. Basically, what we do in 8th grade is we focus a lot on content knowledge. Our curriculum goes from westward expansion up to and including World War II. We do historical thinking skills where students are analyzing primary sources. They're making argumentative responses, making a claim, supporting that claim with evidence from the sources that we have them analyze. Like the other teacher said, we are using Google Classroom. Everything is on there. All documents, all work, everything. Students are required to check in every week. We do small group with students 4 times a week. So your students may be in small group with us one after the regular classes. And one thing we're asking is that we're going to be sending home shortly or within a week or so some information so you can be part of Talking Points so that we can basically text you information about your students. It's an application that can go into different languages, and we can text information about how your child is doing in our class. And that is it for history in 8th grade.
Okay, it is time for English and Language Arts. Hello, I am Ms. Michaelek. I am the 8A English Language Arts teacher, and we have a great team of literacy and ELA teachers this year. Our goals for ELA are, we really focus on close reading, so analyzing text to understand it more deeply, and we focus on collecting evidence and using that evidence in our writing, particularly our argumentative writing. In addition to ELA, and we're going to be reading 3 books together as a class. We read Inside Out and Back Again, which is a book of poetry, a narrative poetry. We read To Kill a Mockingbird and The Omnivore's Dilemma. And so we'll be reading those as a class, and they are going to be available, hopefully all of them, online, digitally. And if you're, in addition to ELA, your student is going to be taking either literacy workshop or a literacy intervention class. Literacy workshop is like extensions of reading and writing, and literacy intervention is extra help with reading comprehension, and writing. And that's it for me.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Caione. I am one of the 8th grade resource teachers. I'm in 8B. Mrs. Oldham is in 8A. Our job is to support instruction in the mainstream classrooms. We service students who have a working IEP. So we go into the mainstream classroom, we do some pre-teaching, reteaching, and reviewing. We modify work as needed. We work on organization and study skills and self-advocacy in the classroom. We also work on individualized instruction on their goals and objectives, which are listed on their IEP, so this will be a little different for each child. If your student does not have an IEP, we still might be in their class, and then they get the extra support of us being in there as well.
Hi, I'm Ms. Carrington, ESL. Mrs. Cruz is here, and Mrs. Santiago as well are part of the ESL department. In ESL, we provide support for speakers of English as a second language. And students will practice 4 language domains on a daily basis in order to strengthen those skills: reading, writing, listening, as well as speaking. Again, with our department, all students will be using Google Classroom, and they are required to check it daily. And as well, we will be pulling small groups of students in order to work on specialized skills that they need, and they are required to check every week whether or not they are required to do the group. And we will be using talking points as well, as are the other departments. It's a great way for us to stay in contact with you and share successes with your students.
So all of these are the contact informations for each of the teachers. In addition, when your child logs into PowerSchool, when they can click on the teacher's name, and there's a hyperlink to the email, so they can also email them that way. And what we ask is that if a child is having trouble, like logging in, or there's some kind of internet issues, that they email the teacher directly. I'm happy to answer emails, but what I've started to do is copy the teachers on there, because the teacher, if the kids are just emailing me, the principal, the teacher doesn't know why they weren't in there. So these are really important emails to have so that you can keep in contact. At this point, we're going to stop recording, and we're going to open it up for questions.